Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. Minister, I was just so struck by your comment that the military technology that Canada sold to Turkey that gave Azerbaijan a decisive military advantage over Armenia, that was just cameras. To me, it's like saying that a bullet is just a piece of metal. I mean, the nature of a thing is in its use, and the use in this case was critical technology that gave Turkey a decisive advantage. So it doesn't matter if it's a piece of metal or a camera or what it is. What matters is its use. And the flippant way in which you, a minister of the Crown, refer to that, I think would be quite surprising to people whose lives were directly affected by this conflict. Minister, you've responded to that before, and I would maybe invite further comments on that in writing, but I want to ask you a specific question about your policy with respect to Iran. We all recognize, I think, the importance of democratic norms and adhering to votes that take place in the House of Commons. 2.5 years ago, you voted to immediately list the IRGC as a terrorist entity under the Criminal Code. Will your government follow the will of the House of Commons and list the IRGC as a terrorist entity under the Criminal Code, as you voted to do 2.5 years ago?
So, Mr. Chair, let me refer first to the question or the comment that was made by the member. I won't let the record stand for what he said. There's nobody, and look at me, Mr. Genuis, I have been more engaged on the file of Nagorno-Karabakh than you probably have been.
Minister, your comments spoke for themselves. I'd like a response on the Iran question, please. I have 2.5 minutes.
Can I just remind you, Mr. Genuis, of the point that we made earlier, which is to please not have members talk
Mr. Chair, that is fair, but it is the time that. But it is my time to manage, and I'd ask the minister a question on Iran.
Mr. Genuis, I've hit the pause button. Just as a point of order, it's impossible for interpretation to follow when members talk over top of each other. Please, just a reminder.
Minister on Iran, please.
So, to continue my answer, and that's what I wanted to say. What I was specific is that I want to set the record straight about what the equipment, and you had official would testify. So if you want to be truthful to Canadians, you have to call things, and you have to be respecting the record. You had officials which testify and provided you all the answers, and I'm happy to do that. I am very concerned, and Mr. Genuis, that's why you should recognize that the moment that allegations were made, that the equipment, that the technology that was used in the drone, I immediately suspended the relevant permits. They remain frozen, and I launched an investigation. That's the responsible thing to do, and I will take no lessons for someone when it comes to having been there for
Thank you, Minister. The record is clear. IRGC, yes or no? Will you list the IRGC?
That is your